Hello, and welcome to A Week in Trucks, or as this episode should be called, A Week in Tippers. Tipp-Ex and Tank-Ex is the must-attend show for anybody in the tipping, bulk haulage or tanker industries. We sent the enthusiastic Andy Salter and the slightly less enthusiastic Will Shires up to Harrogate to report from the show.
Thanks a lot, George. Welcome to Harrogate for 3 days of tipper and tanker mayhem. We're here at Tipp-Ex and Tank-Ex, the UK's national events for bulk haulage. There's 150 trucks on display. All the truck manufacturers are here. We've got the bodybuilders, the tanker builders, the tipping gear people, all here under the roofs at the Harrogate International Centre. So let's get started. All I need now is a co-star to join me. Shires? Anybody seen Shires? Shires?
Hello.
There you are. Where have you come from?
Just from the hotel, but I'm absolutely knackered.
Clearly there's some sort of theme then if you're dressed up in this get-up.
Yeah, I've had a look round. There's a lot in there on cycle safety, pedestrian safety. There's some good stuff too. Do you want to come and have a look?
Yeah, great. Lead the way.
This is the doors guard. Really clever device. This drops down between the second and third axle and prevents anyone from going underneath. You can read about it in this week's Commercial Motor. Brigade have got a full selection of cameras here, including their Back Eye 360, which gives a complete surround view of the vehicle. From Back Eye to Track Eye, we're here on the Xeros stand. They won the Innovation Award last year, and they're back this year with a new 360-degree camera. And Vision Track have got some new products for eliminating blind spots too. I think there's a bit of a theme developing here. Scania is showing this, their urban concept tipper. This has been designed with clocks and various other bodies. Features include a curbside window here and low ride as well, thanks to the air suspension. I mean, compare the height of that bottom step with this on a conventional tipper.
Haha, right. Time for a bit of light relief, Will. How's your driving?
About as good as my cycling.
On you go.
Okay.
Go on,
Here
son.
goes.
Give it some.
Can't believe I hit that. I'm here with Simon Shields. He's a director at Thompson's. So tell me, Simon, how many of your customers actually specify some form of cycle safety equipment on their tippers?
Now it's 50%. 2-3 years ago it was nothing. We've started to have a push and it's growing steadily.
Are we just talking the South East, London in particular?
Again, initially it was in the South East, not anymore. It's grown into Manchester, Leeds, and all the main contractors and utility companies are demanding that anybody that's on their contracts should have cycle safety systems.
Phil, we've seen lots of different safety systems on offer for operators here at Tipp-Ex. What sort of cost are we looking at for all this equipment?
Well, to look at the basic mandatory requirements for clocks compliance, side scan systems, cameras, etc., you've got to be looking at a couple of grand. And then if you take the optional passenger door window, that's probably another £1,000 to £1,500.
So an operator's going to be looking at about a £5,000 investment in this safety equipment?
Potentially up to that sort of figure, yeah.
Right. So that's really interesting what Phil Moon was saying there. All this safety kit, it's adding about another £5,000 to the cost of a vehicle.
Well, of course, it can add a lot more. If you go for low entry, high visibility, like the Dennis Eagle Elite or the Mercedes Iconic, but they don't come cheap.
And how much is one of these?
We had an operator in Commercial Motor recently, same Thompson's body as this, Epsilon crane, didn't get any change out of 163 grand.
See, 163k for a truck, that's having quite an impact on the economics of this whole road safety stuff, isn't it?
Agreed.
We need some more discussion.
Sorry, Will. Sorry about that.
Oh,
How'd you get on?
yeah, brilliant. I've been chairing the truck safety seminar this afternoon here at Tipp-Ex and Tank-Ex. Brilliant, really great. 50 or 60 people, everybody properly engaged in truck safety, talking about all the stuff that we've been seeing today. It's excellent, excellent. Proper engagement for the industry.
But whilst you've been gone, I've been thinking, I was in Amsterdam recently, I didn't see any low entry cabs, I didn't see any windows cut indoors, and do you know why? They don't need it, because of segregation.
Absolutely right. That's what we've been talking about today. The whole hierarchy of work-related road risk, how you manage safety. First of all, you start keep them apart.
Yeah.
Then you look at signalling. Then you look at devices. Then you look at management. But at the end of the day, the core of it all has got to be culture. It's got to be managing the culture of the industry. Because if they're not, the only victims this industry is going to get is more dead cyclists, more pedestrians, more people getting injured.
So how do we do it in London?
Well, you can't do it in London because there isn't enough space.
No.
The roads are narrow, they're built for medieval horse and cart.
That's right.
So,
And the mayor seems to think you can paint a blue line down the side of a busy junction and just hope for the best. Well, that's like painting a zebra crossing on the M1.
yeah, and there's so many initiatives going on, you know. The Department for Transport this week have announced 21 million quid's worth of grants that have been issued to look at alternative forms of green transport. That's going to mean more cycling, more walking, people getting to walk to work. There's 23 local authorities that have benefited from that money. Now, if those local authorities don't engage with freight, this proliferation of more vulnerable road users is going to lead to more people getting dragged under the wheels of trucks, more cyclists getting injured.
Well, I can't help but think some of that 21 million will be well spent actually given to hauliers. Safer lorry grants,
You're absolutely right. We could have a safer lorry grant scheme. We could have more ways of managing roads better, understanding how things work, engagement with the industry, more
I hate to
sessions.
interrupt you when you're getting very enthusiastic and passionate, but it is time to go to the pub now. That's it from Tipex 2016. See you next year.
Cycle safety is a constant theme, both here on A Week in Trucks and in the industry. So when Paul Bumford, LC Vehicle Hire Sales Director, got in touch and suggested taking on London in a Mercedes-Benz Arox, a low-entry Iconic, and by riding a bike, we jumped at the chance. You can read about his experiences in this week's Commercial Motor, but for the time being, take a look at how he got on.
Good afternoon, I'm Paul Bumford from LC Vehicle Hire. Today we're down in London. We've brought with us two very different vehicles. The low-entry Mercedes Iconic, built as a tipper grab, and also a Mercedes Arox, built as a conventional tipper grab. We're going to be driving both vehicles around London to try and draw some comparisons between the two, but then we're going to put a slightly different perspective on it by cycling around London up against the city traffic. At the end of this we'll review and tell everybody how that felt. So we've got to the end of a long but very eye-opening day. 2 trucks round London, then a lap round on the bike. All very, very different experiences, but all very interesting. All equally as terrifying. The 2 trucks give you a real appreciation of just how hard those guys have to work. You've got traffic, bikes, scooters coming at you from all angles, but then you jump on the bike and you've got the freedom of a bit more movement, and very, very difficult not to see a gap and go for it. And it just makes you realise how hard it is to be seen and how hard it is for the guys in the trucks to see people.
Continuing the low entry theme, we recently jumped behind the wheel of Dennis Eagle's latest urban commercial vehicle, an Elite-6 wild track 18-ton skip loader. Dennis is best known for its buses and bin lorries, but this is a proper commercial vehicle designed to offer improved visibility. Powered by a Volvo 7.7 litre engine producing 280 horsepower, the Elite-6 has a 6-speed Allison transmission and a Hyver skip loading gear. It was also the first time we've seen a working example of the doors guard, an additional cushion device which normally fills the gap between the existing side guard rails and the ground, effectively eliminating the possibility of any errant vulnerable road users finding their way under the rear wheels. You've been watching A Week in Trucks. Join us next time when we'll be testing the new Toyota Hilux.